What's up, hippo lovers? WTF happened in February 2019. My kind of monologue talk show where I talk about what happened in the last month of February. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of interesting stuff, and I want to share my feelings about those things. I will change the title and yeah, we will talk about that. How we'll do it is I will try to briefly talk about what happened, and in the end, we can maybe answer some questions, and you can also say what you feel about some of those topics, and maybe I will try to squeeze in some questions and answer them. And KOT2 finals. Very early on February, we had some kind of easy brackets for the first two seeds there. Leary didn't train a lot. Viper didn't train a lot. Both kind of inactive. Just ran through there, had some interesting games, somewhat against Vivi and Yo in the semifinals, but both in the end made it through. And the Viper in the end winning again, $5,000 in his pocket, as we've seen so many times. And it would have been nice to finally see a different winner, but well, not this time for sure. I'll doubt losing the first round, but that was January. So, tournament, nice viewer numbers. I believe accumulated we had like close to 20,000 or something viewers. If you only count non-Chinese viewers, because we had, I believe, high 4 digits for T90, mid 4 digits for MEMP. Then I had 1K. We had like obviously Orno with like 100 or something, and like a lot of smaller numbers. And then we had Mario Vale, I think, with 8K also on YouTube. And he's only casting in Spanish. So that was like enormous for KOTD2, and everyone was happy. Tournament ran very smoothly. We had this one problem with, well, potentially problem, but I already discussed that last month. And well, the finals, KOTD1 finals were a bit more special, in my opinion. They were like not from the setting of everything. It was pretty similar, but just the games were more intense. And obviously we had the feeling like all the civilizations were pretty new at that point, something we didn't have this time. And yeah, the Viper just went through it, 3-0 lead from the start. Then we had some tip advantages for Leary. He took it back into summon in the end. The Viper closed it out in the best of 9 series. GG, well played. And a lot of good feedback there for Mr. Memp and Crazini, obviously, who did a lot of stuff behind the scenes there, and even in front of the scenes with all the great handbook and all the tournament overlays and hosting. So that was really lovely. And yeah, truly a tournament to be remembered. Kind of squeezed in between like New Year's and NAC2, also overlapping with the Escape TV thing that we already addressed last month as well. And yeah, that brought us to NAC2. Obviously, something I could say a lot about, and maybe I will answer some questions later on about this, but yeah, what can I say? Highest Age of Empires viewers ever were 6.7K on a like only Age of Empires stream. There were like other like some Brazilian crews like playing Age of Empires, and they had like 25K, but they aren't Age of Empires players. And on the second day we broke 11.5K. That was enormous. Viewer numbers were sick. We had a blast. Feedback has been incredible, and yeah, people just loving it. Games weren't the greatest games ever, I have to say. It was disappointing playoff series, like 5-0, 5-0, then another 5-0 in the semifinals. MBL against Tedo, probably the best series of the whole playoffs. Finals, in the end, the Viper again, 5-0 ahead. Then luckily we had the break. And when it was 5-0, we had 7K very disappointed viewers. And at the end, it was 7-3. And yeah, we had 10k happy viewers because like the games after the break were so much better. And yeah, overall I was so happy how it all went. Got massive amount of good feedback. um, if you want to see the feedback, it's obviously on AOE Zone. I did the list of all costs on AOE Zone as well, and yeah, all the stuff on YouTube, but you all know about that. Maybe Fun Day wasn't as good. The Rocket Beans TV thing wasn't that good, I believe. Or at least in the tournament flow. I think everything else, a lot of stuff I was really happy with. And probably a tournament to be remembered as well. Obviously, because it always will be going down in history as the first tournament that will break, first Age of Empires tournament that will break 10k viewers as well, which is pretty sick. I think Rocket Beans are breaking 10k viewers, or did break 10k viewers in the first episodes, if you combine Twitch and YouTube. But that's obviously on two channels. Like one channel, 10k. Yeah, and it was more than I was realistically hoping for. Like, I would have been disappointed if we didn't get 7k. I was aiming for 8k, and I was dreaming of 10k, and 11.5 was just surreal for me. Yeah. So that was really sweet. And then Capture Age happened. Maybe something that some of you didn't really realize. Let me maybe open that for you in the back. Or no, I can do it this way, right? Or did I? I just screwed that one up. Something that some of you might not really have realized, right? So this is something that a lot of people programmed, or some programmed, and it will completely change how we spectate the game. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can see what people, like what units killed how many things. You can change the shadows. You can even change the camera angles completely. And yeah, it just allows you so much, like smooth scrolling in between those units. And yeah, just so sweet. Let me take a look. Do we see something else? Capture Age, la la la. And yeah, now they're just showing some highlights. And here, that's the behind the scene, like advanced statistics. And we could see something like, how often do you win if you have more than 20 villagers at the 8-minute mark or something? How often do you win if you played 4 minute arms instead of 3 minute arms? And so forth and so on. And that will be all allowed. And look at that. I think this will be sick for casting as well. And that's called Capture Age. And well, could be pretty good for the future there. And the big thing is, though, would have been sick if it came out like 5 years ago, right? Those are separate projects. Okay. And yeah, the thing is, for me, it feels like DE is around the corner. And the question is, will that also work with DE? The zoom in, the zoom out thing, all the statistics. I don't know. And yeah, but those guys, I was in the project. They talked to me about it shortly before NSC2 started, and they were so motivated. Yeah, it's actually like kind of interesting how the game reads. It reads out all the information out of the game, and then puts them in and just loads the same graphics. So you could just like change the villagers to nillies and all have them wear orange t-shirts. And then all villagers are looking like this. It's like, for modding, it gives you endless amount of options. And just like the one tracking of like how many kills did that villager get, or that villager, how many wolves did she kill, or whatever, could be just so sweet as well. And yeah, that's going to be interesting. And yeah, it's still some nearly villagers there. It's still a bit away from being really released, right? So that's yeah, it might still bug out. I saw some stuff and suddenly a tower disappeared, for example. Yeah, would be lovely. And like simply the introduction is always like, oh, and on the right hand side we have the player in the blue playing with the Britons, Tato. And now I can do like fancy camera work, scroll around, zoom in on the villagers and zoom out, look at the lumber camp or something. And that would be nice. Or just follow the unit around while stealing the boar smoothly. That could be so much nicer. But well, we'll see all about that. That's future music. But we saw the trailer and a lot of people are really excited for that. So that's nice. What else excites people is Hidden Cup 2 was announced. It's happening 11th till 14th of April. Now 16 players, top 14 directly into the bracket. The bottom 2 are qualifiers. It will be based all on rating. And well, it was one of the best received tournaments in Age of Empires history as well. For everyone who doesn't know it, it's hosted by Mr. T90 Official. And players will not know their identity. So they were named, I believe, player 1, player 2, player 3 or something, and just were given colors that they had to use, and they didn't really know who they played. In theory, great idea. To realize that it didn't really work out. In Hidden Cup 1, all players kind of knew who they were playing against. I, as a caster, or not a caster, as an observer, always knew who was playing. And so for me, it was kind of, I have to say spoiled, but the casual viewer absolutely loved it. And T90 did a lot to prevent that from happening again. There will be no ping display, so it will be trickier to really, like, already see in the game lobby, okay, I'm playing against a Chinese guy, I'm playing against Sneakoff or whatever. And yeah, they're giving them new names. All the like hidden factor will be handled by Robo behind the scenes. So a lot of stuff is going to be really epic there, and T90 will have a huge weekend. And honestly, he might be scratching 10k there as well. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe, like, yeah, it's going to be big, and people are really excited for that. And I'm happy for him that he's doing it again, because the first episode just had so many people really loving it. Do you know about Viper in Hidden Cup 2? He didn't sign up yet, and it's almost sign up end. I think it was announced like a week ago, and it's still till the 3rd of March, right? So he has 3 or 4 more days. So it's all fine. And we still gonna recognize the lead TC by doubt, right? What? Yeah, a lot of people, like, all the spamming, like, people really love that, like, oh god, Miss Micro has to be doubt, Great Quick Vault has to be Viper, and people have been so wrong. Just, like, for me, like, people spamming, like, Viper, after I saw, okay, he didn't micro the villager on the wood line, I know it's not Viper, right? Because, but, like, maybe it's spoiling him a bit too much for me there. But, well, people are loving it. And, like, it's obviously impossible to have a tournament that is great for everyone. And, yeah, I wish him the best of luck. I think it's going to be really good. I think this one, like, this one could be in the corner here. Looks a bit better, right? And, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good tournament for sure. Yeah. And speaking of good tournaments, Escape AoE. We have something completely new for February. They changed their streaming policy. As we all know, Escape AoE is a tournament that takes 1 year long, over $60,000 of prize pool, and all sponsored by Microsoft with the big offline finals. And we had only recorded games casted at specific set dates on specific Saturdays and sometimes Sundays, but they changed that rule from now on, and that's kind of interesting. That can only mean that, like speculation from me, that they weren't happy with the numbers and now need to, like, get more reach or something. But, well, it just happened so that, for example, now I just had a live cast with 1.1k viewers, and I think the last Saturday stream was with 800 viewers. Yeah, this one was semifinals and they had the round of 16, so that's different. But it doesn't really feel too great for them. They hit 1K. Yeah, I think Mem posted with quite a bit. But I think it will be tricky for them. And it's so weird for me because I something between like and love those guys, and I wish them all the best. And then it's not really going into the best direction for them at the moment when it comes to viewing numbers. Maybe they're just tournament hosts and are happy that like I had 1K viewers today, and that's just what they will go with, right? Yeah. But let's see. Well, but yeah, semifinals are over now. Next semifinal will be tomorrow. MBL against Tim. Today, Tedo won 3-1 against Felice. Sorry for all those spoilers. And this video will probably be on my YouTube after I uploaded the ECL. So, happened. They kind of need viewership to live after dropping all the cash on the studio and full-time staff and everything. Well, those are two different things, right? The studio was more the escape project, and all the money with viewers is more ECL. So it's easy to confuse that, and it's easy also to confuse it because I'm writing escape AOE/ECL, and it's actually two different things. And now a lot of people criticize, oh, the tournament is too long, as I already see in the chat. Prize money is pretty sick though. And well, I've talked a lot with the players as well, and at the moment they aren't really enjoying ECL too much. I think at least the AM guys, right? Yeah, they aren't enjoying it too much. Yeah. What can I say? A year. A lot of people feared that it would be too long. But yeah, AM I hate us anyway, so we shouldn't really give too much on that. But I'm excited to see what ECL will develop. Standings are pretty nice now. I will probably do an update before the next stage, and we'll do a video like who needs to advance with what stage. At the moment, it looks like AM. Secret is pretty safe, and they will go through. But the other 4 teams, namely AM, SY, Frantic, and Suomi, are still fighting for the second spot in the offline finals. Tedo won today, indeed. And this was good for Frantic, SY, and AM. Tomorrow will be a very important match who advances there. I think ECL is lacking proper advertisement and announcements. Not really. At the moment, at the start, everyone knew that it was happening. It's just tough to keep the hype up for a year, right? That's what happened. And Tedo, well played today. Hi to you. And yeah, I'm not really sure what to say to that topic. And now we come to the Voobly. What is it called? Terms of service? Something like that. Code of conduct. To start this off, yesterday there was a very big post that got into a lot of rage and a lot of drama. It was taken down today though. So there was a post up for, when was it? I think 16 to 18 hours, something like that. But I think it's still worthy to think about what happened there. It's going to be back, but with changes, he said. Okay. So MBL is in the house as well. MBL, pretty vocal with that. Go on AoE zone and we will discuss that a lot. So, what happened there yesterday? As you all know, Voobly is by far the best platform to play Age of Empires. No discussion about that. Every streamer is saying that. ECL is on Voobly. They always wanted to play on Voobly. Had some problems there. Then switched to Game Ranger. Then came to terms and are playing on Voobly now. And there's no one who wants to play somewhere else than Voobly at the moment. Players are very active with saying that, always playing on it, and every time you launch a game, at the left-hand side it's shown this game is played on Voobly, right? And then we had a release of this yesterday. We can see that this was posted, as I said, yesterday. It's 27th of February. Today's 28th of February, and March 1st is tomorrow. So it would have been like with 28 hours of heads up, something like that, if we consider like GMT times to be the set time for March 1st, which makes sense. So 20 hours ahead of this, and this is for me the biggest problem of all that a lot of people are working, or like we have, how many professional streamers do we have on Voobly at the moment? 10, 15? There are people that are doing full-time stuff and depending on Voobly. And then we have those changes. Streaming Voobly policy, please do not use Voobly. That's all pretty safe from the start. Nothing changed here. You aren't allowed to host any Voobly tournaments that they're hosting, like we had Every Game Counts before that. And yeah, cannot get into the tournament rooms. If you run any other tournament, you kind of need to ask the host of the tournament. All reasonable, right? There's also some stuff that are in the rules that, for example, if I host NAC, was not allowed to say, okay, there's a 14K prize pool, which makes a lot of sense for them. And now we will get into the controversial part. And I think there can be two approaches to why we are changing the Voobly policy that much. And we will go through that. So I will get rid of the top here. And I will just let that in the set aside here. Whoopa. And I'm not a professional overlay guy, as you all know. So, all streamers must agree and follow the tournament protocol for organized events. That makes all sense. Voobly.com reserves the right to remove the streaming privileges for any streamer of any time without notice for violation of the tournament protocol. You know, I'm an educator. I'm a big fan of like giving a warning first, then discussing like, why did you break the rules? What can you do it better for the next time instead of just banning people straight up? But okay, you don't need a warning for the ban. If someone is being homophobic in my chat, I don't give him a warning. So I ban that as well. So all makes sense. Organized events, the protocol is, for example, you are not allowed to display money, like prize pool, and you need to use that lobby for that purpose and such. All makes sense. I read through that again. And now we get into stuff where people are starting to get mad about. All streamers broadcasting games played on Voobly.com must add the Voobly logo to their video stream. And people feel kind of, why? Like, I'm using your platform. Why do I need to put your logo on? Everyone knows that I'm playing on Voobly. If someone asks, I'm playing on Voobly. Like, everyone has a command, every streamer. Like, Voobly at the side. Or like, for my case, like ELO. If you want to know my rating, you're directly getting linked to Voobly. And, well, yeah, I don't have it. I know. Now they're showing me off. And, like, but I'm a heavy supporter of Voobly. And, like, the platform itself. But, well, the logo must be persistent, clearly visible, directly embedded into the video stream. All makes sense. Otherwise, it will be considered the abuse of streaming privileges. And that's something where a lot of people went ham as well. Streaming privileges. What is Voobly really giving them? Like, streamers are given exposure to Voobly and bringing so many people over there, right? It's really, I think without streamers, Voobly would be way smaller. Age of Empires would be smaller in general, but there's so many casuals coming over from HD to Voobly because the competitive scene is here. It's getting broadcast, it's getting streamed, the tournaments are happening here, and I think they hugely went for the grow there. So I think streamers are actually really helping out Voobly, and this kind of is showing, okay, we want even more exposure. And now the question is that justified or not? And a lot of people feel like, oh, it's my stream, you're taking space away from my advertising. I honestly don't mind that too much. If they ask me to, like, okay, you're living off this, using our program, if you want to be a streamer on this platform, give us $20 per month. I'd probably happily pay it. If they say, okay, you're making a living off this, we will give it to you for free, but you will just put one banner on there, I'd probably happily do it as well. It just feels so forced, and that's like what people like fear now, right? And where, like, the big other question is, where does it stop? If you agree with that, do you need to do advertisement for Voobly, like play Voobly trailers, and so forth and so on, right? And like drawing the line gets really tricky there as well. I honestly feel like I wouldn't mind this. A lot of people do, and that's their right as well. Yeah. Okay, now we get into the next thing. All streamers broadcasting tournaments or events on Voobly.com must also add the logo and name of the tournament to their video stream. That's what we did for KOTD. That's what I'm actually doing for ECL. But apparently now I read that I don't need to do it, which is kind of weird because it's in the handbook. Kind of weird with ECL, but that's another topic. And yeah, so just add the tournament logo and everything is fine. That's actually not too much of Voobly policy. I'm a bit surprised. That should be the policy of the guy hosting the tournament. And that feels super reasonable to me. And that's kind of where we are heading anyways, right? All streamers broadcasting to Voobly must turn off Twitch. The broadcast indicates the channel is 13 instead of mature audience. And that's where a lot of people went ham. Like, what? Now they're dictating me what content I can do. And for everyone who doesn't know what that is, if you go onto Twitch page, you as a streamer can say, okay, is this channel for mature audience or for everyone? And I, for example, am not swearing a lot. And I wouldn't mind if young people are watching Age of Empires, so I have it turned off. But I know that other streamers like really want to go ham. Spring wants to show some porn occasionally, and so they just click, okay, mature audience only. And I think this is something that isn't really like forcing, like, we want more share of you or we want to take you over, but this is, I believe, more of them protecting themselves. Like in the old days, I was streaming poker and also was I'm streaming at the moment on there as well. And then I just got like a message from Voobly, okay, you're not allowed to stream that. And it's like Voobly is for people under 18 and you're streaming a game that is clearly for over 18 years old or over 21 years old, depending on where you live. And so that is against our terms of conduct, or what is that? COCs. And so I can totally see that. So I think this one is simply to protect themselves. And I can totally understand that. If you say, oh, but by the way, I'm broadcasting on Voobly, but I'm swearing and talking about whatever inappropriate topic while being promoted by Voobly to be a streamer of their game, I can see that. Like, if someone asks me, let's go back into the homophobia again. Let's say hypothetical scenario, someone is making a funny homophobic joke, I laugh, and then Twitch contacts me and says, yeah, what's your standpoint there? And I obviously would say, okay, I'm totally against that. And like my clear message is no homophobic jokes on my channel, right? So that it's just me protecting myself from stuff like this, and that's them protecting themselves. So I can, yeah, they won't contact you, they will ban you. Well, we saw what happened to Spring, right? I don't think that Twitch has too much interest in banning streamers. But that's also Twitch protecting themselves again against the law, right? So it's just, for me, this rule makes kind of sense. But a lot of people feel violated and like, okay, now someone else is dictating me what I'm allowed to say. Let's see if they actually ban someone for that. But it's tricky, right? You kind of need to decide. Do you want to be mature audience on Twitch or immature audience on Twitch and on Voobly at the same time? But yeah, I can see that. And that's actually kind of it, right? Am I missing something? Wasn't there something with games? Ah, yeah, here, that one. That is an old rule, but people got mad at that one before. Voobly does not allow streamers to broadcast non-Voobly games in Voobly, com lobbies, game rooms, chat rooms, forums, and websites run by Voobly.com. That means if I'm waiting in between games, I'm not allowed to play Minesweeper if Minesweeper is not an official Voobly.com game. And I'm not allowed to advertise Let's Join and play Scribble or chess together, or our poker game. And that kind of feels, I think that was an old rule, and wasn't really edited now, but people somehow get mad at it now. But people never got banned for that. And it just got like, I did like 2-3 times that I forgot when I played poker, or one time I did intentionally, that I just left stream live on, and then it just got removed, the stream live on. I got a warning, and yeah, that's super reasonable. Like, I got handled pretty fairly there. Thing is, T90, if you remember, he had one incident where he was having a raffle or a giveaway for a PC or something, and was promoting that in a Voobly room, and he got instantly, I'm not sure if banned or timed out, but like he couldn't access Voobly anymore for a certain period of time without any warning. And again, as I said, I'm not a big fan of no warnings, and he should have been messaged, take it off within the 1 minute. That would have been fine, in my opinion. Yeah. What's the problem with visible prize money? That I'm advertising on Voobly. NAC2 has $14,000 prize money. And I'm promoting it everywhere, right? And then Viper wins this one, wants to get his 5K. And I won't pay him because I want to gamble it off playing poker. And then he can go to Voobly and says, guys, you at your platform actually advertised it to be 14K and you let it be there. And just to stay safe out of all those troubles, I think that makes sense to simply not promote any prize money out of other parties, right? If Voobly themselves would run tournaments, I think they could promote that, but I think promoting that is kind of weird, right? So now the big question is, what is their big motivation between all those? And a lot of people are hating them a lot and saying like, oh God, they're so greedy, and all the hosts are so bad and all the decision makers are so bad. I think it's a lot of them protecting themselves. That's like my incident with the poker thing. But also, there was kind of a heads up for all streamers, although everyone was still caught off guard. But you know that all streamers kind of had a streamer sign, and we had some privileges. Like, I could check AKA ratings of people that had more than 60% win rate. So I knew which players were smurfed or not. Or I believe MEMP can room password protected game rooms, for example. And stuff like this. And this was ending today. So I had a countdown like 28 days ago, and every day I got a message like, this product is ending there. I even messaged an admin, and they said they cannot give away too many free privileges anymore. And that kind of felt like we want to make more money. And it is tricky, right? Because they are all people doing it in their free time, delivering a, in my opinion, solid to good product. But they're also benefiting on a lot of other people that gave them the product, like Scripter with the user patch, the Apple, Trirem now with Vololo Kingdoms, all the HD hype, and they aren't getting a lot from that if just Voobly is selling subscriptions, right? Because I don't really see Voobly selling, let's say 5% of the population is buying subscriptions there or memberships. Are they giving something to Vololo Kingdoms and Scripter? I would be surprised. Are they giving something back to the streamers that actually bring all the people? I would be surprised with that. So, but that's like, if that is the money motivation, right? Which kind of makes sense as well, right? Like, we are in a project where suddenly, out of nowhere, people can actually make money out of Age of Empires again. And so it makes sense for them to at least cover their cost, which clearly aren't covered. And honestly, I'm fine with them making money. And as I said, I'm fine with a monthly fee. I'm using your product. I will pay for it. And it would be the same for OBS. I have no idea why OBS, the streaming platform, like the streaming thingy I'm using, is for free. Like, I would pay money to use OBS. I'm paying money to use Streamlabs. I'm paying kind of money to Twitch that I'm using their services, right? Everything is, I paid for Age of Empires to play it. Everything I'm kind of using, like obviously all my hardware equipment, right? The things that I'm not using, like obviously like browsers and kind of I'm paying for the internet, and that's only Voobly. It's kind of the most important things I'm using that is actually for free. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind giving them something. It's just like such an intransparent way of approaching the thing, which felt bad. Okay. I think that was the end of my monologue. Time for some questions if you have any. Tell me if I did say something completely stupid, if I was wrong, if you have any questions, if I can elaborate on anything, if I forgot anything. That was it, to keep you updated. Wasn't Voobly bought by WSVG? No. 5 nearly 7 mono. Can you repeat the fifth point? Just tuned in. You're funny. I think I can read those Voobly changes. Not anymore. But there might be screenshots on AOE Zone. I still have a screenshot. I can upload it as well. Would somebody be able to create a different platform to compete with Voobly? Not before DE comes out. No chance. At least from my knowledge of programming. Voobly is a solid product. I think stream on Twitch and not Voobly. We used Voobly only to play game. Am I wrong? Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch, but I use Voobly to play. Yeah. I can somewhat understand why Chris is undiplomatic. Okay. Well, things like the 28 days or 28 hour heads up kind of was a lot disturbing to me as well. Do you think this will increase HD multiplayer usage? Not really, no. No. I come Voobly 4 times a month. People like me don't come anymore. Why? Feels like AE streamers will be walking tightrope with Twitch TOS and Voobly TOS. Probably, yeah. How much does it cost to get the streamer badge product? I don't know, because I always won tournaments in the old days where we had those badges for free, and then I got the streamer badge after it ran out. I think I might have bought it like, oh no, yeah, I got it 1 year, but I won another tournament, and Skittle bought it for me. Things like $10 per month or something. But I don't know. You have to Google that yourself on Voobly. Do you think Voobly is scared of being replaced by a lobby system with AOE2DE? They might be, but it makes zero sense to scare the people away now. Because like I think when DE comes out, everyone's switching to DE of the professional scene. Because what I also think is that Microsoft will just say you have to play the tournament on DE. Right? Why would it wouldn't make any other sense? Yeah. So the competitive scene and all the streamers will switch to DE. Who's continuing to play 2D on Voobly when there's 3D on DE? Like, yeah, yeah. Is AOE DE a remake of AOE 1? Yes, and AOE 2 DE will come out eventually. When does DE come out? We don't know. Microsoft will milk DE for 3 to 4 years, then give up on it like AOC. The question is always how long do they keep the matchmaking platform up? Okay, then you have so deep Age of Empires intels with Microsoft that I can't compete with you. What were your favorite moments of NAC 2? Probably the 11.5K, or the first time breaking 10K was really sick. And yeah, that was probably my favorite one, yeah. It's not unlikely that there might be a situation like when HD expansions came out, pros play the tournament on HD, but else play on Voobly. No, because the game looks differently. And people, like, if I play my competitive games on 3D, but will play my training games on 2D, my viewers will get confused. So I probably, as a streamer, will decide for one platform, and then it only makes 3D make sense. Hmm. It's tricky. We'll cast so much MBL will sneak off at 18 GMT today. I think it's tomorrow. Don't you think so? I thought it was Friday. And no, I won't. Do you know what these retired incentive levels are when MEMP is referring to in AoE zone? No. Been removed and will be a replacement for the retired. Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. I thought DE would look completely different. Like, for me, Age of Empires 1 and Age of Empires 1 DE looks like completely different. Yeah. Yeah. But that's just me. I think like the improvement level would be somewhat the same. Okay. 5 more questions, guys, and then I will wrap it up with WTF happened. AU2DE will be 2D as well. Okay, so then it's only graphic improvement. My bad, guys. Viper sat together with the team behind AU2 HD. No. Well, you have to ask him that, but I doubt that he will tell you something. Tattoo versus release was 3-1 for Tato. Still 5 real questions open, guys. Quick recap on WTF happened in January. You need to watch the whole episode on YouTube. What's the difference between HD and DE? HD is very similar to Voobly and the original game, just with expansions, and DE will be a completely graphical makeover. What will happen in March? Hidden Cup qualifiers. Maybe something from me. Escape AoE through 3 event will start. Another tournament that I believe isn't announced yet, but not from one of the top 3 streamers. And there will be a new post from Voobly, right? So that's going to happen. Okay, 4 more questions. When will King of the Hippo 7 happen? Oh, Tanks wants to get the money again. Your predictions for MBL versus Tim and the finals. MBL versus Tim, I say 3-1 MBL, finals 3-1 Tato. What do you expect from inside Xbox, AU4, AU2D infos, or both? Were there any? I think there were like completely random images that had no relevance. I think it was, I don't want to call it stupid, but I think it was completely stupid that people got excited over nothing. How do you like your pizza? We already had that discussion today. I don't want to discuss more people. In March, I might get 2.3k, potentially. 2 more questions. No NSC 3 questions, as you all know. Is 3-3 your favorite team game format? It might be, yeah. Although 2v2 became a lot more interesting in the last years. You said something about delaying your DM tournament. Can you share some more info on the format setting that you are planning for your deathmatch? 32 players, single elimination. 5 weeks. Last questions. When do you know whether there will be any AE-related meetup around TwitchCon in Berlin? I will be there unless I make it into the Hidden Cup finals. But I will be there on Saturday for sure. And Sunday, you will not spot me because I need to keep that secret. I don't know. I haven't planned anything. What was your favorite team game tournament from the past? Let Your Teammate Die was the best one for sure. And this is the time for me to wave goodbye. WTF happened in February 2019. I don't want to have it too long. I want to have it more in the small 45-minute format, very clumped up and informative for all of you. Nilly Bice in the chat are flying in. And this is the time where YouTube ends. See you guys.